Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please, if you haven't before, hit the subscribe button and get ready to leave me a comment at the end of the video. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, today's commander is, without further ado, Reya Dawnbringer. Now, people are probably wondering, if you're watching this video, why I'm doing Reya. Well, Reya has a spot in my heart. I tried to build a standard deck around her back in the day when she first came out in Invasion Block back in the day. It's around about the time that I think Brian Kibler started beating everyone up with his favourite dragon legend, Rith the Awakener. There you go, I remembered. Obviously, this is the Eternal Masters version of Reya Dawnbringer from MTGO, but anyway. And I really want to try and play a white reanimated deck, which was really hard. We had Birds of Paradise back then, we had Land War Elves, it was green-white. It didn't work very well, but I had a lot of fun playing it. Recently, I was reminded of that deck when I was at a tournament because one of the returning players at my friendly local gaming store was asking me if I still had it. And we were talking about Commander, and he went, "I'm surprised you've never done Reya on your YouTube channel." And I was like, "No, I haven't. I've played against Reya on my YouTube channel. Never really done it myself." He's like, "Well, go on then." So that's where this video came from today, because obviously, you know, Lord of the Rings is kind of on the curve downwards. And so I thought, okay, I'll spend a video. We'll do Reya. So this is my take on Reya Dawnbringer. Now, I'm not saying this is any great guides. I would not play this in a competitive setting. But if you want a bit of fun to play, if you're having a real casual game on MTGO or on your tabletop, this could be a deck for you that's quite good fun. So, start with the mana base. Yeah, white lands everywhere. I'm playing Field of the Dead. We've got enough non-basic planes in the deck that I think we can get away with it. And I have got Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant and Tower in here, along with Temple of the False God and Reliquary Tower. The reason being, we do have a lot of expensive cards in here. And if you are playing the City Kitchen table, obviously drop Mana Crypt out, put another land in. I've put it in because I'm doing this for MTGO at the moment. Along with Mana Vault. You don't need that either. You can just play more lands, it's fine. Or you can play some of the cheaper ramp stuff if you've got it. Hedron, the one that taps for 2 mana and then you can sack it off at some stage for 2 cards. That's one you can put in. Can't remember what it's called now. Hedron Archive. There you go. Brain's working. But anyway, my artifact ramps obviously Tantalite, Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, and Thran Dynamo and Nyx Lotus. They're all here. Yeah, I've got to have Nyx Lotus with the Shrine to Nyx in the deck. It is a mono-coloured deck at the end of the day. But what I've tried to do with this version of Reya is take control of some comes into play effects from creatures entering the battlefield or returning creatures that are really going to help us. So, Authority of Crossroads slows our opponents down, gives us some life, along with Condemn and Path to Exile to take out those annoying creatures. Yes, they're one-shots, but hey, we'll have them out there anyway. Yoshimaru the Faithful. Whenever another legendary permanent enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on the Other Faithful. Yeah, we've got a few legendary permanents in here, so it kind of makes sense to have this one in. Not a great amount. You know, if you haven't got this, Savannah Lions is fairly cheap nowadays compared to how it was when Reya Dawnbringer first came out. That's a possibility. 2 drops. Luminac Aspirant to pump our creatures. Norn's Wellspring, so we can draw some cards when creatures we control die. Thalia, Gardener Thraben annoys people and gives us a little bit of slowdown for the non-creature stuff. And Offenza pumps up our creatures when they come into play. And Knight of the White Orchid goes and gets us some land. Pearl Medallion just makes all our white spells cheaper where they have a colourless mana cost. It is quite fun doing Pearl Medallion on turn 2. And then I've done Luminar Aspirant and Drum Bellow on turn 3, which is just like, huh? Because Drum Bellow deserves to be in here. Untap all creatures you control during each other player's end step. Untap step, sorry. Yeah, that's quite good fun. Halo Fountain I've dropped in just so I can try and actually get a win with it. I'm still trying to do the 15 creatures win the game side of things. Hasn't happened yet. I'm hoping if I keep playing it long enough it will do. And if it does at some stage, you'll see my first YouTube short appear on the channel here. Heliod, Sun Crowned, is also here. Gets gained some life. Put some +1/+1 counters around, but is really here to make sure we can do the lifelink side. Lauren of the Third Path is a great one to return if it gets killed off. Use it as a blocker, because once you get up to the mana to get Reya out at 9, you can just bring this in and out every turn if need be and just blow up every enchantment and artifact that's annoying you. Marvin, Fane Dusk Apostle, not probably going to do much, but whenever one or more non-token vampires you control attack, you get a 1/1 vampire creature with a token and lifelink. So, yeah, it's a nice one to return. You can attack with it, get a vampire blocker that gives you a little bit of life next turn. Sylvain's a Reclamation, return target permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it was cast from the graveyard, you can copy this spell and choose a new target for it. So, you get 3 permanents back at the end of the day for, 8 mana? It's not too bad. It's okay. Sky Hunter Strike Force is also here. As long as you control your commander, other creatures you control have melee. So that's quite nice. That pumps up your army quite quickly. Brimaz gives us some soldiers to block with, and Mirren Crusader takes care of all the green and black players that we're up against at the moment. Double Strike's really nice, and it's a nice target we can return. Achroma's Will, another card, if you don't own one in real life, you can get rid of and put something else in. I was lucky enough to do a draft the other week when Commander Legends was back on MTGO and pick one of these up. So, hence why I've included it in this deck. It's quite nice. If you can pick one up, I recommend you do. Once you've got Reya in play, and if you can cast this, you will win the game by giving everything, lifelink, indestructible, protection from all colours, and hopefully flying, vigilance, and double strike. You just alpha strike, and that's the end of it. Nothing anyone can do to stop it, which is great. Unless they bounce everything. I'm not going to say it's good against Cyclonic Rift. Anyway. Felidar Retreat, it gives us some cats when we drop the lands or put some +1/+1 counters around. Restoration Angel blinks something in and out that might be useful to us at some stage. Court of Grace gives us the monarchy, so we draw a card and then we get a nice spirit, and as long as we're the monarch we get an angel. Day of Judgment controls the board. Hero of Blade Hold just attacks, goes in with things, gets us more blockers. All of these I've mentioned. Boss's Chauffeur. Probably wondering what this is doing here. I quite like this card. Enters the battlefield, number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to 1 plus the number of other creatures you control. Okay, so it gets one for itself. Fine. So it comes in as a 1/1 at the worst. Alliance. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Boss's Chauffeur. And when the Chauffeur dies, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token for each +1/+1 counter on it. So we get the Chauffeur up to sort of like 8. When it dies, we get 8 1/1s. And then next turn, we just bring it back with Reya. That sounds good. Aeod Skydawn, just to get some more +1/+1 counters or return, gets sort of like 4 mana value worth of cards into play. Archangel of Thune, chucks some +1/+1 counters around. Dawnbringer Valkyrie, just to do the backup on a creature and just go to the air and do the flying first strike and lifelink if we need to. Cataclysm Gearhog lets us do a whole board clear. Cathar's Crusade, yep, +1/+1 counters every time we have a creature come into play. Works really nicely with the Hero of Bladehold, just so we're aware of that. Cleansing Nova, just so we can keep the board under control, hopefully from the artifacts and enchantments, not so much the creatures. Doomscar for creatures, End Hostility for creatures, and all permanents attached to them. There's quite a few equipment decks kicking around at the moment, and there's a few Calyx decks I've seen that have gone down the Aura route, so that's why I've included End Hostilities. Fumigate, another way of gaining some life, because we are not worried, because we're going for Reya, we're not worried about killing our creatures off in this deck, because we will be getting them back. Yes, it's slow, but we will be getting them back. God Eternal of Ketra, just to get some black zombies when we get things coming into play. Karmic Guide returns things from our graveyard to the battlefield, which is a nice little combo, especially if we can bring this back with Reya occasionally, so we get this plus another creature, so it's like a double triggering of Reya every turn if need be. Sunscorched Regent gives us some life and gets us a big threat in the air. Gilded Lotus helps us ramp, and Platoon Dispenser gives us somewhere to sink all our mana into when we get there. 6 drops, Austere Command, blow up the big creatures, blow up the small creatures, blow up the artifacts, blow up the enchantments. Your call when you cast it. Elspeth, just for some soldiers and anything with power 4 or more, goodbye. Farewell is here if it's really bad and you just need to exile everything. Do it. Sun Titan returns all our 3-drops to the battlefield as well. So, like, mini version of Reya. Achroma, Vision of Ixodor. I still like Achroma. Still need to work out a really good partner pairing for this card. I will do at some stage. Elesh Norn is Elesh Norn. Profane Journey, or Profound Journey, I should say. Return target permanent card from our graveyard to the battlefield, and it's got Rebound. Yeah. If you cast this spell from your hand, it can exile it as resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost. You get a couple of permanents back for 7 mana. Not a bad choice. Realm Cloak Giant, blow the board up, then cast a big giant. Yep, cope with that plan. Angel of Serenity, if you need to blow the board up, exile 3 of your things, blow the board up, Angel of Serenity goes, you get your 3 things back, which probably puts you in a winning position if you pick the right ones. Still trying to get Legion Loyalty to work. I understand Myriad has now been fixed on MTGO, so we should get the copies when we attack, so that's really cool. Dust to Dawn, destroy everything, bring everything back. Yep, okay. Portals of Phyrexia. I've just got a bit of an addiction to this card at the moment. I really do enjoy playing it, hence why it's turning up in a lot of decks. But yeah, each opponent sacrifices 3 at the beginning of your upkeep. Put target creature card from a graveyard, so anyone's graveyard, not just your own. It can be anyone's. People forget that. Into play under our control, and it becomes a Phyrexian. Yeah, Reya probably doesn't like Phyrexians, but at the end of the day, if I want their creatures, I'll quite happily do it. Couple of X spells to finish off. Kalia's Reconstruction. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put up to X artifact and all creature cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of a random order. We have got a lot of things that are 3 or less. I wanted to try the card out. Is this the right place for it? May not be, but it should be fun trying it all out with all of these. Yeah, especially we can get some ramp on the go. And Decree of Justice. Just an X spell. I like playing it. It's coming into play. It's cycle. You can either cast it for stupid amounts of money and get a whole load of army of flyers, or you can just pay 1 and a 2 and then put all your other spare mana into it to get a complete army of 1/1 soldier tokens, which I really enjoy. But that's my little take on Reya. Like I said, it's more of a fun manipulation deck. There are some cards, there are some mono white, Breath of Life springs to mind I haven't put in the deck. There's other things like that that return stuff from the graveyard to play if you want to, like white versions of Zombie 5 for example. Not in the deck. I did this a bit more casually and for a bit of fun. I have built this to the extent of which in real life the only things that are missing from it in real life are the Mana Crypt and the Mana Vault, and I've just actually gone up to 39 lands. I'm looking forward to trying it out at my friendly local gaming store when I'm next down there playing Commander, just because I think people will get upset with it. And I don't play that much mono white. It's not a colour you see very often. But anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Really hope you've hit the sub button to help me out and get closer to my 500 target. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Anything you'd want to change, anything you want to improve, let me know in the comments below. Also, I did mention in yesterday's video, if there's still a Lord of the Rings card you want to see what my take on it is, let me know in the comments. I've kind of drawn a sort of like line under it for now. Radagast the Wizard of Wild yesterday was the last one I was planning on doing for a while. But if there's anything else, let me know and I'll try and get them covered for you. Take care, thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll be back tomorrow to watch more of the video because you're subbed. See you later, bye.